Hi, I'm Daniel, and welcome to Indie Spotlight. Today I'm here with Dean Day from Greenlight Games. So you are, what's your technical title at Greenlight?
So I'm the founder
Yeah.
and the managing director of Greenlight Games.
Okay.
But I prefer to go for project manager.
Project manager, okay.
I'm a bit of everything apart from 3D art. It's the only thing I can't really do. So I try and come up with the designs, meet the guys halfway and get involved in all of the process. And my strongest trait with programming. So I try and get involved in the programming.
Awesome. So you've got a project at the moment that you're mainly kind of working on with Greenlight, which is called Gombies. So what's Gombies all about? Can you just give us a little rundown of the player experience of the game?
Yeah, sure. So Gombies has been designed to be a free player online co-op game. Okay. You have the ability to play single player too, and there'll be some other game modes such as wave survival and stuff like that. But the idea behind it was basically taken from your everyday zombie game. More than anything Left 4 Dead.
Right, okay.
And then other elements from other games such as Alien Swarm.
Okay,
So the camera angles and the way the user plays the game. And then a more tactical sort of experience. So you find with like Left 4 Dead, you can run through the whole game and just sort of spam the mouse button and just shoot everything. I wanted a bit more of interaction with the player. I wanted the player to sort of have to think a bit more about the game. So it's that sort of idea. You basically make your way from A to B, going through hordes of zombies or avoiding them if you can. Some of them are very smart, some of them are really stupid, so it depends on the path you take and the actions that you take. But stuff like running out of ammo, that's something that'll be popular in the game. You can't just run around emptying clips.
Okay, good.
There's more gombies, as we call them. There's more gombies than there are bullets in the game.
Right, okay, so you really do have to think about it. Yeah,
so there'll be a lot of stealth. If you're not detected and you know that there's some zombies in front of you, you can avoid them, take an alternative path, try and sneak past.
Oh, it's nice.
Every player will have like a melee, so you have like a baseball bat or something like that. You can try and do something a bit silent or just go all out and take a small group out. But like I say, there's different levels of zombies. They come in different... they do different colours.
Is it green, red and blue? Or?
The green one is sort of your first zombie that you'll encounter. The idea behind it, Gombies, is geeks and zombies. And instead of going for like a flesh DNA-driven sort of virus, we've gone with a digital virus.
Awesome.
The idea was that there's this corporation out there that decide that they want to make this virus to try and control people to get them to buy their products and use their services. So they released this like virus on the internet. And then every device that has a screen, we say, can recode the person's brain or DNA, make the changes that they want, and then you would go and buy their products. It's sort of in control of you. And obviously it goes horribly wrong. Everyone gets hit by this virus, and then the first set you get is the green zombies. The green zombies are like everyday people just walking down the street, maybe caught a TV in the shop window, the virus has hit them, but it doesn't really do what it's supposed to do. So you get like slight mutations, maybe they've got like a dodgy leg, but they're very stupid, very slow. The next one is your red zombies. They mutate faster. They're like your bigger, your stronger enemies. They're a bit smarter than the green zombies, and they will hoard the green zombies towards them if they're in a fight or if they're in action. So they're like the leaders. And then above that are your smart zombies, which are the blue ones. Now the blue ones we decided are like complete. The virus itself is completely taken over the body. There's no mutations because it was never designed to mutate the body. And these are the guys that you see with like the blue ties or the blue eyes in the suit. And they're like the slaves of the corporation. So they're at their command. And so you've got this guy behind a computer can decide what they're going to do.
Oh, so it's actually controlled by a computer as well.
Yeah, that was the idea.
Really cool.
So like you could send these codes down and it would make them twitch and do what you want to do. It was really cool stuff. It was very like Matrixy sort of ideas we were throwing around. When it first started off, none of this was planned, and it's just sort of. I mean, it's been a year, and I think it's a year and a half now. And it's just sort of evolved over time. But it's going to be a really fun, fast-paced game. But if you want to take it slow and plan it out, you can do that too.
Oh, that's nice. I like a game with options.
I
like a game with options. So, is there any code hidden like that within Gombies where you're getting people to buy the rest of Greenlight's repertoire?
No, sadly not. There are some subtle hints to other games that are out there. I won't lie.
Nice.
Some. I won't tell you what they are. I'd rather people see them in the game, but there are some advertisements, references, hints towards games that we are planning to develop or have marketed that we are developing. And hopefully people will see little Easter eggs like that.
Oh, that's cool. I'll keep an eye out for those then. That sounds really awesome. Okay, so you actually planned to release the game on PC and Xbox One, is that right?
Yes, we did, yeah.
So you're going through the Xbox ID process?
Yes, so the Xbox Independent Developer Program.
Yeah.
We applied for this about 3 months before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
The stage, basically there's 3 stages. The first stage is an initial contact. You tell them that you're interested.
Yeah.
A brief description of the game. And if they like the idea, they'll come back to you.
Okay.
It's all done through like an online portal system. You get a one-to-one with someone from Microsoft.
Oh, that's cool.
So we got the return. I was really excited. I was like, great, you know, they like the idea.
Yeah.
We can go further. So we basically sent our games design document across, any screenshots and media of concept art or work that we'd already got so far.
Yeah.
And at that point of applying, we already had quite a few levels completed in the source engine.
Yeah.
So we sent videos and screenshots, and the guys over at Microsoft loved it. They said, look, you're doing really well.
Awesome.
We like the idea. It looks like it's going to be really good. It looks really fun. Can we get a demo? And that was just before Christmas. So they've asked for a demo and they've asked for like a trailer.
Right.
And then we went through this transition from leaving the source engine because the support just wasn't there for us, and we were struggling to get stuff done. And we moved over to the Unity engine.
Right.
And things have been going really well. We've got quite far in the development. We've got to a stage where now we've got player controls. Okay. We've got Gombi AI working. We've got basic level layouts, modeling and like props and stuff in the layout, but the layouts have no textures at the moment.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then a speed bump in the road came when the new Unity 5 came out.
Of course,
So
yeah.
Unity 5 came out, we were really excited, and we jumped straight on the hype train, downloaded the update, got Unity 5 Pro, and all of our previous work sort of fell apart.
Yeah,
in all
it does
honesty.
have a tendency,
We were upgrading Gombis, and everyone was getting the repos up to date so we could start working on it.
Right.
And then the next thing you know, you open the project and then it's just full of errors.
Yeah.
Stuff was disappearing. It was all going left and right, and we were just like
awful.
Source all over again.
Yeah.
So the level design got lost. We were using plugins for the building tools.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it just didn't work in the new version. It didn't convert, and we lost all the levels that our mapper guy Timu did. And so he started again for the 3rd time.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. We'll get in there. The demo's really close.
Okay,
we're
cool.
looking forward to it.
So you're on Unity 5 now. That's
we
what
are.
you're using.
Yeah.
now. Okay,
there's
cool.
also been just another rollout, another update which we're on.
Right.
Some bug fixes and some new stuff was added.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So what was it that made you decide to move away from the Source engine? So what specifically about the Source engine kind of made it difficult?
When we first started designing Gombis, it was myself and Timu, who I mentioned earlier. Timu's now my right-hand man for Gombis. He's the project manager because I was working on other projects at the same time.
Okay.
And he's our lead level designer.
Yeah.
So he's done most of the work for Gombis by my side. We've started from the beginning, and he's come from a background of creating levels for Half-Life, Counter-Strike, using the hammer tool with the Source engine, and I'd come from the same background. This is before we'd even found out about Unity.
Yeah.
So we was like, great, this is a good idea, let's go and make it. We started making it in the Source engine, and it looked amazing. The quality of the graphics that Source was rendering, even though it was like a 10-year-old engine.
Yeah.
So good. And then when it got to the stage of, right, we've got our levels done, our environments are looking good, we need some gameplay.
Yeah.
Trying to find a programmer was hard.
Yeah.
And then when we found a programmer, we actually found 2. Them trying to program what we want was even harder.
Oh, really?
And we just found the resources weren't there. The support on the source, like the Source wiki, there was a lot of stuff on there, but a lot of it was really hidden from you. You had to get into like the club, basically.
Okay.
Valve have this sort of developers club. If you wanted to release it on Steam, you have to apply and get through it.
Yeah.
And then they would give you like a copy of the engine, and it has more source code. A lot of it's hidden, and we were just hitting a brick wall every time. Every time we had like a Skype meeting just to go over everything, it was just like, oh, program in progress. Nothing. Move on. So we just sort of said, like, we're either going to have to stop doing the game or we have to stop using Source. Yeah. And then we switched to Unity.
Okay. I think you made the right decision.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Like I said, we've done more now in Unity. We've made more progress.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we believe it's been the right choice.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so Greenlight Games, that's your company. That's your team. So how big is your team at the moment? How many people have you got working with you?
So at the moment we have 3 teams of developers.
Right. Okay.
2 are very small, and then Gombies is the larger team. So in Gombies we have myself and Timu.
Right.
And then we have 3D modelers Paul and Nathan, and we have a concept artist Nikki. We've a music guy Nick, and then we have our programmer Sebastian.
Okay.
And the other teams we've got Jamie and Bill, who work on the mobile designs, the mobile projects, and they've also just had a new guy join them, who's our artist, who's Jake.
Right.
And then the third team of developers, we have 2 guys. So we have Nathan from Gombies, so he's working on both for me because he's an amazing 3D artist.
Yeah.
And we have another guy called John Velgus, and he is the brains of that design.
Right.
So it's a separate mobile project game, and they're working on games, and he does like the trailers, the user interface, the way the user will play the games. He thinks about stuff really well, stuff that wouldn't really pass through my mind the same way.
Yeah, he's just got one of those brains.
Yeah, he's got one of those brains. So and he works on that. So there's quite a lot. There's about 10 of us working on everything.
That's a pretty big team.
Just
actually,
over,
yeah. So why Greenlight Games as a name? Why did you pick Greenlight? What was the inspiration for that?
When we thought about what we was going to do, the idea of Greenlight Games was to be an independent game studio that allowed students or graduates to come and work with us, to collaborate with us, and get the experience that they need to go and get a job working for Rockstar or EA or Ubisoft. And when you leave university, you have this degree, or you have this qualification, and you have your experience from your coursework. It doesn't really settle well if you try and get a job in the games industry. And so I made this at university. Yeah, they don't look at you the same way. So the idea was that we give people the green light to come and work with us, without having to go through all this awkward application stage. And then on the other side, we also wanted to be like a gateway for independent developers. So we wanted people that had ideas or were working on ideas and games to approach us and say, look, we have this or want to do this. We need some help. Okay. Can you help us make it, design it, develop it, publish it, whatever? And again, it was the idea that you come to us, and if it's okay, and we can negotiate on the idea, and we give you the green light. And it just sort of built from there. And then we went to branding, and it looked so good. We was really happy with what the branding team come up with. It's stuck ever since. I mean, it's been about a year and 4 months now the company's been running. So it's not changing. I'm so happy with it. It's brilliant.
No, I've got to say, I love your splash screen at the start of your video. The pics, that's just amazing. I
stick that on everything. I really shouldn't, but I mean, it's everywhere. I think it's so good. I really like that.
Yeah, I really loved it. Like, it's just any time you get it, it's Greenlight. It's like right there.
As it comes up, I really like that. The guy that made that, I was so happy with it.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
So you'll see that a lot more. Don't worry.
Good. So you actually started Greenlight while you were studying, is that right?
So originally it was me, Jamie and Bill. We met at university when we were doing our bachelor's degree in games design and development. Right. And we made so many little games and made stuff for our projects that were really good, you know. It was like we could ship this if we finish it. Yeah. It was always the way. We'd finish our coursework and we'd go, that was a great game, we should ship that. And you never come back to it.
No,
you just move on to the next thing. But I said to the guys, I said, look, I want to do this. I don't want to go and work for someone else. Yeah. I want to make games that I want to make. I want to make games with you. I want to make loads of money. We're going to be indie developers. We're going to be famous. So we said, look, let's just go and make a group. And I'm very business minded. So I said, look, I'm going to register a business. I want to do it properly. So on February the 24th of last year, when we was in our second year of the degree, I registered Greenlight Games, got our company number and all our details through. We made an account on the App Store, on the Google Play Store, and then Facebook, Twitter, I think we're on LinkedIn, YouTube, God knows what else you can get on. And everything you see will come under the Greenlight Games brand. And I just thought that was important to get across. And the guys were like, yeah, let's do it. And they've all got shirts, they've all got business cards, and so it's just really nice to have that little edge when you compare it to like just small groups of people that are going on no name sort of thing. I thought it was important to push that across.
No, that's really cool. So, I mean, you say you're business minded, so you're obviously good at this anyway. But I mean, was it difficult for you, like studying and trying to, run the company?
Obviously, there was a lot of moments where like you just lose all inspiration. You wake up, go to university. I mean, I was doing university. I was doing Greenlight Games, and I was working on the side as well. I had like a part-time job during term time, and I was working full-time during the breaks. But I mean, for the time that we actually spent, like, you'd get home 6, maybe 7 o'clock at night, and you'd spend like 7 till like 12 maybe 1 or 2, depending on what you're doing the next day. You know, developing and trying to get stuff done. It was a struggle. I mean, the second year wasn't too bad. We all done really well in the second year. We was pushing out. Well, basically, when you had like a project for a university, you had like design this game or develop that, and we develop it with Greenlight Games in mind. So we'd put on there like the Greenlight Games logo.
Yeah.
So the game would start up, Greenlight Games would come up, and the tutor sort of look at us and say like, "What's this?"
Yeah.
And don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry about that. You just carry on. Yeah.
And we'd get our grade, and as soon as we'd submitted it, off it went to the App Store.
Yeah.
I mean, like I did a game for university. It was called Gold Runner. Jamie and Bill were doing one when I joined. It was called Shadow Runner. So we just stick the Greenlight Games logo on it and shipped it out, and just sort of kept that mind frame. So everything we did had the Greenlight Games logo on it. So you see, that way we sort of killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah, and you've got that kind of branding set up right from the go before
we went straight away and pushed that in, so we didn't have to worry about that either. Which was great.
So you were talking about the kind of inspiration for the name Greenlight Games and how you want to kind of greenlight people into the industry in a way. So would you say that's kind of the company's ethos? Like that's your kind of focus?
Like I say, we really wanted to be an independent game studio because at the end of the day, we love playing games.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the games industry is so hard to get into and so hard to stay alive in.
Yeah.
You know, we could publish Gombies. It could cost us 20-30 grand to do it, and no one to buy the game.
Yeah.
It's just a risk that you have to take being in the industry. So we thought, what else could we do? What would make us different? Maybe a bit quirky.
Yeah.
And then I come up with the idea of building the community. I mean, I've done loads of research into this in regards to like the global games market. So I could tell you, for example, in the global games market, we are 5th. The UK is 5th in the global games market.
Oh, wow.
So we're behind America, Japan, and first at the moment is Germany.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I have no idea what
that
logos
was surprising,
make.
yeah.
Yeah, so I read this research, it's all in the business plan and stuff, and I was just like, what did Germany make?
Yeah.
But I've never looked into it. They probably make stuff that we play every day.
Yeah.
But in the UK, there's something like, I think it was like 2,000 games studios in the UK and 12,000 jobs for game studio related. So like that includes developing, designing, marketing, sales, just in the UK. And we're 5th. I mean, it's something like 1.7 billion by 2017. That's how much the games market is going to be worth.
Right, yeah.
It's bigger than the music and the video industry combined. And I was like, look at all that money.
Exactly, yeah.
So give me a slice of that pie. So we said, what could we do? So whilst we're developing on games, instead of just keeping the door shut, why don't we let other people come and work with us? Why don't we work with other people? Sort of try and share the knowledge and the wealth in the UK and sort of bump us up, because I don't have to move to America to get a job,
course,
you know.
Yeah.
I love making games, and if I can do it in my hometown in London, that's great.
Awesome.
So that was the idea. We just open the doors, let people come in. You never know, one day someone will come across with an amazing idea and we help them develop it, and the next Flappy Birds is out on the Greenlight Games, you know. So why not? There's nothing to lose. So we're more than happy for people to join us.
Awesome. So you say we're sort of 5th in the world in the industry, and obviously I know recently there's been, in the last year or so, some tax breaks that have come in for the British games industry for, I think it's culturally British games. Apply for the tax break. So do you think that's kind of going to be a big help? Do you think that's going to boost us up, our profile?
Yeah, so one of the tax reliefs that we concentrated on was one that George Osborne put into place, which has literally just come about. And that basically means that if we do all of our work in the UK, everything we do in relation to a game and development is done in the UK by UK citizens, we can take 25% of those development costs and take that off our company tax bill.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, little things like that they're putting in place is so good, and it's the sort of thing that will help little indie studios thrive and let us build up and get to the point that you need to be so that you can financially cover everything that you need to cover. Because it's not cheap.
No.
The licenses, the cost, like a monthly cost that you can have going out, like for Unity and all these 3D software like Maya or 3ds Max, and then like Photoshop and God knows what else people are using, it comes to a lot of money. And having those little tax reliefs and the little boosts, like they do a lot of grants as well. So the local government give us a grant to get some stuff done. The University of Greenwich give us a grant because we was a Greenwich student business. So they gave us a grant, and we went and got to the branding, the website, everything you see come from that grant, and little things like that really make the difference for a small company like this. And I think that's great. That really helps us out.
Cool. So now just a little bit about you. So what kind of games do you like to play? What are your kind of childhood favourites? What do you like playing at the moment?
Oh, see, I'm such a weird gamer. When I first started playing games, it was on the PC.
Right, yeah.
PC Master Race and all of that. I still am. I won't lie, I still am. PC will never be taken over by a console.
Yeah.
When it comes to PC, the sort of games I'm into is like your strategy. I mean, Red Alert 1, the original Red Alert and the original Command and Conquer.
Oh, yeah.
Me, Jamie, Bill, Timmy, every now and then we'll go and play that and play that as a skirmish. And I'll lose every time.
Yeah.
I suck at the game so much, but I really enjoy it, just the experience. Building up your base and building your army, trying to be a bit tactical and then trying to be a bit sneaky at the same time, like trying to drop like a Chinook at the back of their base, put a Tanya in there, you know, try and just really, it's such a good experience.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, I really enjoy like a first-person shooter. I mean, I can play your Call of Duty on the Xbox. I'm an Xbox fan, by the way, sorry.
Yeah.
I had a PlayStation 3.
Okay.
I found it was really, it just wasn't really social enough for me. I didn't really have many friends that had a PlayStation, and it was really hard to get into an online game. So I switched to Xbox. I've had all of them apart from the PS4. So I had the PS1, PS2, PS3, Xbox 360, and now the Xbox One.
Yeah.
And it sits in my front room and it does everything for me. It's so good. I'll play Call of Duty. I'll play like Black Ops. I won't play Advanced Warfare. That game sucks. That's just way too far for me.
We won't even go into it. Yeah.
I've just got the new Battlefield, Battlefield Hardline,
Yeah.
And that's really good. I enjoy that, but I prefer it on the PC. Originally, I grew up on so like Valve's games, so Half-Life.
Yeah.
All of the Half-Life games I played and completed. All of the modifications. They have defeated Counter-Strike. Oh my gosh. Thousands of hours I've spent on Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
So I played the original one, which was like Counter-Strike 1.6. And then Counter-Strike Source come out and I played that as well.
Yeah.
And Counter-Strike Geo come out and I didn't play that. I was so disappointed. Yeah. I think I've got about 4 hours on record with Geo.
Oh, well, that's something.
Yeah. Someone will run at me, I'll empty a clip into them and I just see the bullets go everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
and they're still running at you.
Yeah, and then they just shoot me with one bullet and I die. But I remember that transition in Counter-Strike Source was the same, and it was so agitating that I've gone from one game to the other. It's the same game, but it's just so different.
Yeah,
and I've got to know that. But Geo is just too much. I can't do that. So anything strategy, anything where I'm running around shooting at things, I do like stupid games like Gary's Mod. You know, just building things, messing about. My brothers love Gary's Mod, but I'm not very creative in that mind. Okay. I can't, like these guys. They're building rockets and taking off, and I'm just struggling to build this little car. Like I get like a bath and put some wheels on it, and I struggle to get it go down the hill. And I'm just like,
works,
and he's got a catapult over there, and I'm like, how are you doing this? Stupid game.
That's absolutely brilliant. Yeah. So you're into building PCs as well.
Yeah. So before my bachelor's degree in games design and development, I did a foundation degree in computer science.
Yeah.
So I originally started on that course at the University of Greenwich. I did the first 2 years, which gave me the foundation degree. And then they said, right, okay, so this is your last year. You'll get your bachelor's degree in computer science. And I sat there and thought, this sucks. This course isn't for me. I mean, I wasn't really learning anything. It was just everything they covered I'd already done or had a job in previously, and I knew what I was doing so well. And I said to my tutor, I said, look, what can I do? I said, I don't want to finish the third year. I don't want to do it. It's just not, there's no interest. There's no chance of me passing it if I can't put my brain into it.
Yeah, exactly.
And he said, oh, okay, you can move to another course, start in the second year, do 2 years of that and get the bachelor's degree in that, as long as it's a computer related course.
Yeah. And
I was like, oh, that's great. I went home, I looked at the Greenwich website, scrolling through all these computer courses, and all this stuff was coming up like security and networking. And I see this one line, it's like games design and development. And I was like, It's like learn to make games, make games, get a living here. So, no, that sounds like it could be all right. So I went and read up on it. The first thing I see on the header was these guys using the Source engine, which I had knowledge in. And I thought, this is great. I applied for that. I went and see the course leader, had an interview with him, and I jumped straight on that boat. I was so excited to get into that course. But all of my previous knowledge before that was networking, computer hardware, computer maintenance. I could make a computer from scratch. I could install a complete network in an office. It's stuff I've all done before. It's stuff I still do now and on the side. and it's stuff I really enjoyed. I mean, my machine and doors, it's worth so much money. I've kitted it out. It's got water coolings, SSDs, stupid amounts of RAM. I've got like the top i7 processor I could get because I'm an Intel fanboy.
Fair enough.
Just loads of screens for what? For looking at Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. Every 2 months maybe I'll take it apart just to clean it.
Yeah.
How sad is that? I'll take it apart, give it the dust. You know, just make sure it's all running like it should.
No, but when you've got a baby, you've got to look after
exactly.
your baby.
Yeah, terrible.
That's completely understandable. So I found out about you something interesting. You've actually been a scout leader for a while as well.
Yeah.
So how do you find that? How did that come about? Is that something you did in childhood, or is that something you picked up recently?
So before that, I was actually a sailing instructor.
Oh, yeah,
Before that, I was learning how to sail. So I learned how to sail with this club in my local Southmere Lake, it's called, local lake. And I got to such a level that the guys, they're really old boys, bless them, they're so good. And they said to me, look, you're really good at this. We need some sort of young blood. Do you want to learn how to teach sailing to the kids?
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, yeah. I was like, every weekend I was down there sailing in these stupid little boats, flipping them over, capsizing them, and then bringing them back up. And I could put the whole thing together, and I knew what all the bits were called, and I really enjoyed it. It was just a way of getting a bit of, like, I don't know, it was just being a lad, I suppose. I was just messing about. I never took it too seriously. I quite enjoyed it. So I got through these lessons, and I was qualified to teach sailing. And then after that, they said, oh, that's great. And I said, what's the next step? What do I do next? And they had power boats on the water. So you have these like rescue boats. So if someone capsized, couldn't get back up, you jump in the speedboat and you go and get them. And I said, I want to go on that. I said, and they was a bit like, oh, I don't know about that. I was so young. I think I was like 15 at the time.
Oh, right.
And they was like, oh, I don't know about that. But a couple of months later, I was in the sailing boat. I was qualified to drive this sailing boat. And then I was qualified to teach someone how to, sorry, not sailing boat, this speedboat. And then I was qualified to teach how to drive these little speedboats. I mean, they're only small engines, but they was quick enough for what I was doing. So one day this scout group comes down, and I think there's about 40 kids, all out on the sailing boats, all capsizing and messing about. And I'm taking the leaders round on this speedboat, and we're in the middle of the lake, and the speedboat just conked out. I couldn't believe it, and I was like, what's wrong? I checked it, and I checked it again. There was nothing wrong. It was full of petrol, and I'm pulling on it, trying to get it to start, and it wouldn't do nothing. So we spent the next half hour just drifting in this boat. And we got talking, and the lady that runs it, Mel, she does it with her mum and dad, Sue and Dave, and they're really nice people. And then when we got back to shore, my mum was speaking to her. And my mum was going, she was like, Dean, wouldn't it be really good if you went and joined them and like help them? Because I'd done Beavers, Cubs and Scouts and then I left. And I was like, no, not really. And then lo and behold, 2 weeks later, mum's carting me down to this scout hall to go and see them and try out to be a young leader. So I become a young leader, adult leader, and now I've run the Scouts with Dave. And I've been doing it for 8 years now.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's a really good thing to do. The kids love it. You teach them some stuff. You teach them how to make fires. And like, come on. You know, you teach them how to build stuff. And we do silly things like take them to Disneyland Paris and stuff like that. Cool. So you get stuff out of it, and I enjoy it. It's a good laugh.
Oh, that's really awesome. That's really cool.
Bit different.
A little bit, Okay, so just wanted to talk a little bit about the indie scene at the moment, and obviously you're a co-founder or a founder of an indie company. So the indie game's kind of strong at the moment. There's a lot of like indie stuff going on. There's Xbox ID and PlayStation's really getting into its indie, and I think even Nintendo has recently come out with a little bit of praise for indies, which is rare for them. So why do you think indie games are kind of back in the spotlight now?
I think some of the indie games that are being produced are amazing. I mean, some of the stuff that I've seen some people create has blown me away. And when you look at an indie studio nowadays, you don't see what you used to see 3-4 years ago. And I think what's also helped us out is things like Kickstarter, crowdfunding websites. They give us a really like a positive view, and a lot of people got funding. It become a big thing. It's in the media. It's on the TV nowadays. You've got loads of documentaries about it. And then I feel the AAA studios did us a favour. I don't know if I can name drop people, but the Assassin's Creed Unity wow, they messed that up.
Yeah,
that was
little
terrible.
Bit, just a little.
Just a little bit.
Tad.
That cost me like £45.
Yeah.
I couldn't play it for the first 3 months. I think I got maybe about a quarter of the way through the game, maybe halfway through the game.
Yeah.
And I'd be sitting in a cinematic, and I'd be talking to this guy, and then these random civilians are like floating in the air and walking through walls, and I'm just like, what's going on? And then I'm running from a guard, and I jump on the wall, and it just crashed the Xbox. And I'm just like, what have you done? You have so much money. How can you not ship a game out?
Exactly.
It's like, I don't know, the 8th game they've made or something stupid.
Yeah.
They're dragging a series out, and they still can't do it
Yeah,
properly.
you thought you would have got it by now.
Yeah, it's like, come on, guys. And they're not the only one to mess up. And I think people have sort of gone like, why am I paying £50 for this game that doesn't work? You know?
Yeah.
And why am I paying £50 for a game that only lasts nowadays 2 hours?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, even with Rockstar, they brought out Grand Theft Auto 5 like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, that was great. I loved the game. It's so good. Grand Theft Auto Online. I was like, oh, Grand Theft Auto Online, this looks so good.
Yeah.
Oh, how long did that take to come out afterwards?
Yeah, and then the heists have only just recently been
don't even
released
get me
as
started
well.
with the You know what? The heists come out. I spent 2 hours trying to get online.
Oh, really?
Servers couldn't handle it. There's been a new update. Rah. Kicked
Yeah.
out of every game for 2 hours straight. I've not played it since the heist update come out.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, a £50 game. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
I brought it on the Xbox 360. They re-released it on the Xbox One. So that's £100
Yeah,
spent
so
on
you
that
spent
stupid
£100
game.
to not play a
You know
game,
what
yeah.
I mean? It's just like, what are you doing to me?
Yeah.
And especially the poor guys that have got small PlayStations. I heard about the online updates for Grand Theft Auto. If you've got the small hard drive edition of a PlayStation, you can't install all the updates.
Yeah.
So you can't play the
You
game.
can't play the game properly,
It's
exactly.
like, guys, really, what are you doing? So I think everyone's gone like, look, I'm not giving you my £50 in case it doesn't work. And you can't just take the game back to game and say, I'm sorry, I don't want the game, it's crap.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to give you your money
No,
back.
of course, yeah.
And I think stuff like Steam, Steam Greenlight, I've got to say, come out after we registered the company. I get this all the time. Oh,
Yeah.
how can you call yourself Greenlight Games? It's Steam Greenlight. And I go, yeah, but we
did it
did
first, yeah.
first, guys. Well, it's not the same thing. But Steam Greenlight, in all honesty, they've really helped the indie scene.
Yeah.
And then you've got your YouTubers as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch Markiplier, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye. Oh, that guy, I love that guy. He's so funny. You know, and people like that sitting there, they're doing the Let's Plays, and they've got millions of subscribers, millions of views. And then people like, a friend of mine, he made a game called Entumbra. It's a really simple game. It's web-based. You can download it and play it for free. There's no advertisements. Just play the game. It's a good game. You know, it's a puzzle. There's a long story to it. It's really good. Markiplier played it.
Yeah.
You know, the guy has got millions of subscribers and views every day.
That's a huge boost.
And this little independent developer, he's trying to make games for his family and for his kids so that they've got some money.
Yeah.
You know, fill the cupboards with food. And then Markiplier's come along and played his game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What a blessing.
Exactly. How awesome.
I mean, it doesn't instantly bring fame, having like a YouTube popular person look at your game and play it. But that guy's in the spotlight now. So he's thinking, wow, look, everyone's looking at my game.
Yeah.
And he's run off and he's starting on, he's making Entumbra 2.
Okay.
And you know what I mean? Hats off to the guy. That's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But that's how it's going at the moment. I think people are always on YouTube. I mean, the little my missus' little brother, he's on YouTube. He's brushing his teeth and he's watching YouTube on his iPad. He's in the bath and his iPad's on the toilet. And it's just like he's always on YouTube, and that is really helping it spread. And also you've got Twitch. Twitch is also really helping, but I think that's going backwards a bit at the moment.
Oh yeah.
I think it's on a backwards spiral. They brought in a lot of rules and regulations. Video footage is being taken off, and I think that might die. I think YouTube are going to bring like a live service. It sort of is working, sort of is about, but I think that will take off soon. But a bit of everything, like I say, a bit of them messing up, a bit of us doing really well, and just the exposure that we're getting more than anything at the moment.
So, I mean, you were talking about Kickstarter and crowdsourcing and stuff, but you're actually not, for the Gombies project, you're actually not asking for any money from fans at the moment, are you? I mean, do you have plans to do any Kickstarter campaigns? Or?
It's sort of, it's in the pipeline. I'll be honest, I'm in two minds.
Yeah.
Because I feel if we run a Kickstarter and no one gives us any money and we don't reach our goal, we look like we failed. And I know that can have a really negative effect on the team.
Yeah.
And it could destroy the team and we could no longer carry on making it. Whereas if we do a Kickstarter and we put in an achievable goal and we make it, now we've got the pressure to actually finish the game.
Yeah.
I think it sort of has a really big scale from one to the other. Not only that, I think the only reason I would make a Kickstarter is for the marketing.
Yeah.
When you share a Kickstarter, some Kickstarters I see come through from indie developers as a joke. I linked one the other day. It was a really simple 2D game, and they were asking for like £75,000 to develop this game. I'm like, what are you paying out £75,000 for?
Yeah, exactly.
So you know full well you're paying them a year's worth of wages. You're paying for everything under the sun that they want, and I don't think that's the idea of Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to do a Kickstarter project, you're going to pay for the minimum that they need to get the game out.
Yeah.
You know, you should design a Kickstarter so that you have a demo, maybe an alpha demo, something you can release, pre-release to the public. Let them pay a couple of pounds for it, £4 or £5. I mean, Gombies, we intend on it being as big as Left 4 Dead content wise.
Yeah.
You know, good 3 hours, maybe 4 hours long.
Yeah.
We only want £5 for the game.
Yeah, which is considerably less than Left 4 Dead was at release. Yeah.
And it's going to be a free player online game, so it's going to have like a repeatable. You can go back to it. You know, you're not going to play it, complete it, and that's it. It sits on the. Well, it won't sit on the sheet. It's going to be digital, so it sits in your library for till the end of the time.
Yeah.
It'll have features that you can go back to, and we don't expect the earth for it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we put a lot of work into it. £5, we make enough sales. That make us all enough money. And if we were to do a Kickstarter, I've gone through like the budget for Gombies, and the way I see it, for me to pay all the guys working on it and for all the licenses and marketing and advertising, it comes to about £50,000.
Right.
But I wouldn't ask for £50,000.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't take wages out of a Kickstarter for a start. I would take the licenses, the cost for us to put it on marketing like Facebook and Twitter, and as long as that's paid for, so we can just design the game, publish it, and get it out there, then it's down to the sales. You know,
that's a really good strategy, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Now everyone don't nick
now
the
everyone
strategy.
knows it, yeah. The Greenlight strategy.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. So what are your kind of future goals and projects for Greenlight going forward from now? So kind of after Gombies and once you've got that out and everyone's playing it.
There was a game that me and Timu were working on called The Contract. The Contract is still on IndieDB, so we use IndieDB.com, which is like an independent community for you to get other developers looking at your game or get a community looking at your game. It's a really good website. It's been around for God knows how long.
Yeah.
But when we first decided to go and make games, we designed The Contract. Now, if you go and look at The Contract, you can search for it on IndieDB.com. The work that was put into The Contract was amazing.
Yeah.
The game looks so good. All of the designs were amazing. Everyone that we had working on the team was so good at what they were doing. But again, it was in the Source engine. But it got to a state that we thought, crap, this game's massive, you know?
Yeah.
We need a AAA budget to get this finished. And we said, look, put it on the shelf. All of the work, all of the designs we've got are sitting in a Dropbox archive somewhere.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it. I am dying to get back to that game.
Yeah.
That game took inspiration from all of the games that I love. So, James Bond, GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64. You know, that sort of game, and it had Hitman, the mechanics of Hitman. So the idea was you were like an agent, you fulfill contracts, but it also had the multiplayer functionality of James Bond, GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Splinter Cell. You know, just everything mixed into this game, and I loved it. It was such a good game.
Yeah.
So I want to get that out there.
Okay, so yeah, that is
my goal.
We'll be looking forward to that. Okay, well, thanks very much for your time, Dean. It's been really great to chat with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem at all. You can find Dean and Greenlight on their website, Greenlight Games. They're on IndieDB with Gombies and the Contract. You've got a Twitter at G-Light Games. You've got your YouTube channel where you've got Let's Plays and you've got Dev Diaries and all that sort of stuff.
Everything that we can do is on there. Just look at the website. I mean, greenlightgames.co.uk. Links to everything is on there.
Okay, awesome. So check that out. Thanks very much.